Once again, we're staying in our GF1031 Southeast Madison underscore rev1.dwg file. Now, what we're going to look at now is batch plotting. It's controlled by the publish command in AutoCAD. So you'll notice down here we've got ISO A1 landscape. There's our landscape ISO A1. And you'll also notice here we've got a layout too, which is just a default layout. Because we've got multiple layout tabs, it means we can use the batch plotting tools. Now, there's various ways that you can do this. My suggestion is, though, that you go to the layout tab that you want to be current, which is my ISO A1 there, like so. And I'm going to go up to the output tab here on the ribbon, and you can see batch plot is there. That's the quickest way to do it, really, to be honest. And I prefer it that way. It's just easier. So there's batch plot. You can just type the publish command if you want to. Type publish and press enter. That will also do the same thing. Now, what's really important, like with eTransmit in the previous video, we need to make sure that we have saved our drawing, like so. So we click on save. Now, the drawing needs to be saved purely because it needs to be the most current versions of your particular drawing. Now, I'm going to click on batch plot, like so, and it'll open up the publish dialog box. Now, your publish dialog box might look like this. Make sure you hit the little arrow to show the details. Kind of important. Now, I'm just going to go into this really briefly because it can be quite long-winded and I don't want to create a great big long-winded video about this. So at the moment, we don't have a sheet list saved. We will save one in a minute. But what we're going to do, we're going to make sure that we're only plotting our layout tabs. Can you see we've got a model one there? We don't need that. So we go up to the minus sign and we remove that like so. And you can see there that we've got our page setups all set up and so on, and there's no errors. Number of copies for this particular publish will be one of each. We can include a plot stamp if we want to. So let's tick include plot stamp, click on the plot stamp settings. Now I'm using millimeters in my drawing, so I'm going to click on load and make sure that I use my millimeters plot stamp settings there and just open that up, and it makes sure that the plot stamp parameter file is set up accordingly. I can go to advanced if I want to, and I can set up things here, bottom left, and I might change that to say vertical, and the offset there, let's set that to 10. Let's go for 10 millimeters for each one, like that. So they're 10 millimeters each. Font, I don't know why it uses that weird font. Let's go for something like Calibri, like so, and we'll go with a height of, say, 3 millimeters. We can have a single line plot stamp, and that should come out of the drawing vertically up the edge of the drawing here. Now, we can offset relative to printable area or offset relative to paper border. I'm going to go to paper border, and we can create a log file if we want to. I'm going to untick that. So I'll click on OK. That's all done. Everything else is OK there. I'll OK that too. So you can see there's the preview there. Everything is ready to go now, but what I'll do is I'll just make sure that I save this as what is known as a DSD file. Now, I can save this anywhere to a folder. It's what they call a drawing set descriptions file. I'm just going to save it to my desktop like so. You can see there's various things in there, but I'll save it to my desktop for now. So that's where it's going. And the DSD file is basically all of those settings that I've just set up. Publish in the background, make sure you tick that. If you've got 200 sheets in your sheet list here, it's going to take over AutoCAD and you won't be able to use AutoCAD. If you publish in the background, you can carry on drafting and designing whilst that plot is kicking off, that batch plot is kicking off. Now, I'm not going to bore you, obviously, by watching this plot, but if I click on publish now, what will happen is it will publish these to a PDF. Now, you'll notice layout 2 doesn't have a page set up, so it hasn't got anything set up really. So we'll try and plot it to whatever printer is available for that layout. So what we could do there is we'll click there and we'll use the ISO A1 PDF like so. I'll save that again, make sure I save it. There it is there, save it, replace it with that setting. Thank you very much. Now, obviously, that DSD file, I've just popped it onto the desktop of my machine. You would probably make sure that goes into a known folder somewhere so that people can go and reuse those DSD files. Now, if I hit publish, it will basically plot a couple of PDFs for me, and there you go, job done. But the trick is, if you've got a really big project with lots of drawings, All your sheets can go in here. It can be saved as a DSD file. And then the next time you go to plot, say next Friday, when you've got to do all the new revisions of the sheets, it's all done. All I've got to do is hit publish, and it will just plot quite happily using all of the tools that obviously I've set up here in the publish dialog. That's how quick and easy it is to publish. And my little call to action here is have a play around with this and see how it all works. There's a lot of tools in here that will make your life a lot easier, especially when you've got to publish a whole shed load of sheets every Friday on a really busy project.